Oops. Alright, time to try to save these Whampoan elders. Some bad stuff must have happened in there. Love all the new artwork. The Whampoa. It's probably where I need to go. Just checking things out. Oh, looks like there's some tentacles coming out of that cage. These are probably all places I get to go. Love the detail and the work that they put into this. Can't wait to do my own. Or I can't wait to go back to working on my own. Cool. They did really good making this place feel real. I love the umbrellas swaying back and forth and in conjunction with the rain. Okay. Little vending machine, cool little hologram poster. It's a little cafeteria area. Well, these guys did ask for my help, right? So, I mean, they shouldn't try to kill me, right? Wow, look at all the little driving arcade machines. Little Dance Dance Revolution. Wow. I love the new drone artwork too. Okay. This orc woman is festooned with small circuits, tiny trade screens, and speakers. The trade screens display snippets of trade broadcasts from every corner of the world. The tiny speakers play counterpoint with assessors of voices speaking Spirthiel, Punjabi, Kazakh, and other languages. Her expression is haggard as she fidgets with her fingers as you approach. Welcome to the Whampoa, my friend. I am Elder Ing, and these are Elders Tang and Yip. In gestures to the elf and human, which incline their heads respectfully. Thank you so much for answering our request to help. We had nowhere else to turn. It's the least I could do. Under Tang's skin, glowing tattoos writhe and change shape. Tigers become cranes and move on to dragons. We are under threat. One by one, we elders are being hunted by some monster. As you may have noticed when you arrived, there's been another killing just tonight. Yip crosses his solid chrome arms, holographic readouts dance constantly over their surface, displaying diagnostic information about their state, operating temperatures, servo pressure, and a variety of other minutiae. He looks past you towards Isobel. The prodigal daughter returned once more. I didn't expect to see you back aboard the Whampoa in my lifetime, Isobel. Isobel. When you disappeared, Elder Yatunde was very put out. I'm glad to see you're still alive. When you choose to walk your own path, I was disappointed, but I still understood why you had to leave. Yip paused, tasting the air as he chooses his next words with care. I hope my lessons have helped you prosper. I didn't expect to be back either. Work takes you places, though. Isabel shrugs. A moment later, she places a hand on her pistol, ice trained on the Yip's shoes. I don't cart this around for fun, Yip. The lessons kept me alive. Isabel blinks several times and looks up at Ying, her expression clouded. Where is you tuned to anyway? I expected her to be here. Ying shakes her head sadly. She reaches out a hand towards Isabel, who shrinks away from it. She's dead, so are Gan and Nakamura. And Tong was killed just tonight. So much blood. You have to stop this from continuing. Isabel's expressions remain impassive, but her knuckles grow white as her hands ball up into fists. That's what we're here for. We will stop the killings. Thank you, Isabel. Ying lifts a hand, wiping away tears from her eyes. Have you made any enemies lately? Not that I can think of. Keep to ourselves. We buy and sell technology. We're not mercenaries or criminals. We're merchants and techers. And even if someone was cheated in a deal, this kind of response is unthinkable. Whatever did this, it wasn't human. The violence and savagery. It is a monster, whatever it is. Plenty of humans are monsters too, and just because it's horrible doesn't mean necessarily that it's supernatural. They started 2 weeks ago. The first to go was Gan. We found him in his apartment, eviscerated. He had been torn apart. His head had been ripped completely off, and most of his skin flayed away. There was so much blood it took us a week to clean out his apartment. The rest have been the same, always at night, always dismembered, each scene like a nightmare, and every time nobody has seen anything. It's like a ghost. Same thing happened to the rest of the victims, evisceration and dismemberment. We sent a guard to keep people out of his shop, but he'll let you in. When did he die? Sometime early tonight. He locked up his shop, but Yip stopped by to ask him about some skill chips he had. The door was unlocked, and inside looked like a bad horror sim, just like the other murders. It had to have happened after sundown, because I saw his shop was open when I was on my way to get some noodles for dinner. Why didn't you call the police? The Hong Kong police force isn't welcome here. They've tried to force us out several times before, or come hunting for someone to pin a crime on. We do a lot of favors for the local gangs and triads, handle their matrix security, fix up their gear, and make sure they have access to the Hong Kong Shadowlands hub. We're too valuable a resource for them to lose, so they protect us when the Hong Kong police force or anyone else decides we're an easy target. They handle our physical security, and we make sure to send the message via the matrix. The last time the Hong Kong police force made trouble, we started airing the assistant chief's dirty laundry over the TRID. They got the picture and backed off. That's awesome. They make the rules and kick people out who don't obey them. They're a bunch of petty tyrants. You're being unfair, Isabel. Our laws are for the good of the community. We keep the Whampoan and its residents safe. We review trade agreements with outsiders to see if they're good for the community. We provide a guiding vision, like a town council. I can respect that. I'm glad you understand this community's fragile, and the authorities bear us a lot of ill will. A single misstep could spell our end. I am the invoker of spirits. I commune with the spirits of machines, ask them for blessings, and pass those blessings on to the people here. I heal the sick, and ensure the feng shui of our habitats is as good as it can be given our confines. She's a sham, and that's all. She's got some kooky spin on it, claims her totem is some kind of all-encompassing machine god that lives in circuitry. Ancient gods and ancestors are one thing. My deck, it's mine. I built it. The only spirits it's got in it are the ESPs I loaded up with. Just because you cannot see or touch a thing does not mean that it does not exist. Just because you do not believe in it does not mean it does not protect you from afar. I can't touch programs either, but at least I can prove they have an effect on the physical world. Your superstitions are just that. BS. Aww. This guy treats drones like they're living things. Tang extends his arms, palms up, as you watch the tattoos therein shift into a complex mathematical formula. I am the first and glorious servo. I study patterns, repair machinery, and teach others how to attune themselves to the wonders of automation. The blessed Autofab is my shop and purview, where we make the drones we use and sell. As for me, I serve as the resplendent voltage spike. That means I shoot people who try to screw with us. It's a fancy title for head of security. It might be wise to ask the residents of Whampoan Garden if they've seen or heard anything. After you've gone to Tong's Sensory Carnival, they may have seen or heard things we have not. So it's like they all have fancy names for normal jobs. They've just made themselves fancy names. Not to say that it's not true or whatever, but yeah, we will find out. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Guess you don't get to go that way. So we'll go this way. And then we'll go this way. Whoa. Porter Lamb. Porter Lamb at your service. The elders told me that you'd be coming. They tell you what happened to Tong? ? Just the basics. Well, nothing's basic about this. I've seen people... Brace yourself and go on, and sounds bad. And that sounds like more than 1/10 of an inch of rain outside. Tong's Sensory Carnival looks like a scene out of a B-grade slasher slam. The cloyish scent of incense hangs thick and pungent in the air, emanating from the small shrine to the corners of the shop. Unfortunately, it does nothing to cover up the reek of death and clotted blood. Despite the ragged remnants of Elder Tong littering the floor, the rest of the shop appears to be in good order. At least at the first glance, nothing is broken, tipped over, or otherwise ransacked. As you're about to step further in the room, you glance at the ceiling and wall. The blood from Tong's body isn't just confined to where his remains lie. Drying blood is spread about the walls and ceiling as well. So like he exploded? Hope the power doesn't go out. It's pouring. Hopefully it's not windy. Tong's body is a ruined mess. The destroyed ruin of his face is barely recognizable, and what's left of his body would be best described as savaged. All of his limbs have been torn off, and a pile of flayed skin lies next to the remnants of the Whampoan elder. The Whampoan's clothing has all but been reduced to rags and tissue by cuts and tears, apparently sustained during the flame. At this point, the only thing holding what's left of his body into a semblance of human form is the hair-thin fiber optics of his cyberware. Weird. I'll second that. This isn't a murder. It's like a feeding frenzy. Yeah, exactly. Looks like he stepped on a mine or something. Examine the body. Aside from the tremendous trauma the body suffered, there's no evidence of a struggle. No subdermal bruising marks the muscles, aside from the torque points where the limbs were torn off. The coagulation of blood and the body's lividity marks the time of death between 2 and 4 hours ago. They did lots more options, which is cool, for stats and skills and stuff. The knife marks seem more methodical than they did at first glance. There's been no care to try and preserve the skin as any kind of whole, but it was removed in a fashion similar to filleting a fish, the path of least resistance. What's more, some edges of the flayed skin are ragged as if cut by a claw rather than a blade. There's also a deep razor sharp cut to the back of Tong's neck that doesn't match any of the other wounds. His spine's been severed between the 5th and 6th cervical vertebrae. The wound is consistent with a single blow from a sharp-bladed weapon. Given the trauma across the rest of his body, this was almost certainly the first wound he suffered. Seriously, someone killed him and then spread his parts around. You're the boss. Boss. This is going to be unpleasant. Kava closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. After a moment, she opens them again and makes a strange grunting noise. There's no fear here, not Pelly, no anger either, just this kind of satisfied feeling. Tong never saw it coming, and whoever did it was a professional, which is pretty odd because nobody's professional about eviscerating his body. A body, as far as I know. You mean the attack wasn't some kind of animal attack? I don't know why the killer was after Tong, but it definitely wasn't any kind of mindless creature, or even if someone was particularly passionate. It was someone who planned for this and executed it and was glad about it. Kind of feels like business as usual. Whoa, okay. It looks like there's animal claw, or there's claws and weapons, like bladed weapons. The walls are covered in splattered and smeared blood, most of which has been hardened into a crusty congealed paste. Thick tracks of it run laterally. It looks like the blood has been deliberately smeared. Hey, NetBelly, I don't know a whole lot about science of all that, but I know what blood looks like when it hits a wall. This isn't natural. Someone deliberately smeared blood all over the walls. So they were painting. Do I look like a psychologist? Do you? Some people have a bad grasp of art. Jeez. Okay. Let's go this way. Desk safe. Tong's desk drawers are open, and the safe that's built into one side has been opened. There's no sign of tampering, and the green light next to the word unlocked is blinking. Whoever opened the safe did it with a key fob. Inside are several blank cred sticks, but no sign of any with money on them. Looks like someone looted his stash. A guy like this wouldn't keep empty cred sticks in his safe. Tong's bathroom is immaculate, and the trains are tiny. Whatever killed him didn't exit through here. Okay. Simpsons editor. This is a Yamaha 95000V SimSynth, a device for mixing and mastering SimSynth chips. Several drive bays are empty, and all the chip jacks are empty. The screen is flashing with a repeated error message. Warning, requested files cannot be found. Please return drives to bay and try again. Banging away at the SimSynth's keyboard, you manage to suspend the drive error warning for a time. Digging into the guts of the machine's recent files, you manage to kick it into diagnostic mode. While it's not as good as having access to the full system, maybe you can learn something anyways. The long debug spew that scrolls along the synth screen is filled with numbers indicating recent files, play lengths, keyframes, and assist peak levels. Based on the numbers you're seeing, Tong's SimSynth has been hacked to remove the peak controller levels from the chips he's been burning. The required operation to make BTL chips. The delta wave outputs for these chips push them dangerously into brain burning territory. Weird. The file catalog for the high peak BTLs indicates all the files and burn chip should be stored on the missing drives and whatever was in the empty chip jacks. Someone cleaned out Tong's BTL stash. So his BTL chips were like almost like dangerously powerful. Has anyone been inside? Could have been anybody had a key to his place, but the lock's crap and a decent at cracking Mac locks could have gotten inside. What's missing is PTL's hard drives and crit sticks. Sounds like the killer looted his place to me. All this talk of monsters, yeah, sure. There are scary things that go bump in the night, but most of the scary bumps I hear are from handguns and gangers. What do you do around here? It's a catch-all. Sort of like being a deputy. Handle a lot of maintenance. Okay. What about this guy? Zippy. The orc is basically snacking on a steam bun. As you approach, he wipes off one of his hands and sticks it out to you. Hey, stranger, nice to see you, Zippy toe tag. That's your service. Hello, I'm Nut Pally. Nice to meet you. Listen, I know it's a little forward of me, just say hello and whatnot, but I'm interested in giving you a hand. This is my home, and I'd like to stop the killings. We've never met before this, but I know exactly who you are. You're my replacement. Oh boy, the elders had me autopsy what was left of Elder Gon and Elder Nakamura after they got ripped apart, but I didn't want to dig any deeper. So since I don't know you, and I can smell a Shadowrunner a mile away, you've got to be the outsider they asked to stop the killings, right? Nothing gets by you, does it? See, I have good eyes. A lot of good eyes, actually. If you're in the market for replacements. Only slightly used, and they only come from certified donors, I swear. I know, okay. Oh, he's a surgeon. Okay. Blind Chen's a pretty good cyber doc, but he's basically an implant specialist, and that's it. I did my residency back in the UCS. Could have become a real MT2 if things hadn't gone south. Also deck a little bit, but I'm better at slicing skin than I see. Whampoan Garden seemed a good fit for me. Is it pretty peaceful around here? For the most part, other than the killings, we don't have much by the way of problems. We do information security for the triads. That makes us fairly impervious to anyone who wants to start trouble. Anyone starts something, we hit them in the matrix. Well, our triad friends hit them in the meat space. Some small-time gangs have tried pushing in here before, but they back off when they figured out they weren't just picking a fight with Tang and his guys, but with both the Red Dragon and Yellow Lotus. They got the message real quick. What was left of them, anyway? You must have a lot of customers. Trial of place, don't finish your shattering. This place is special. It's been a long time since I found a place that felt like home. I'm sure I'll move again, but not for a while. I'm not done with this city or these people. What are your thoughts on the murders? Pretty gruesome business. Gon died from a broken neck. Looks like someone had wrenched it around and his arms and legs were cut off. Some skin flayed away too. Nakamura had his throat ripped out by someone with pretty sharp teeth. At first I thought it was a devil rat, but the teeth marks were all from something with a humanoid jaw. I didn't look at you tuned. From what I saw at a distance, it was the same story. It didn't seem much point since I'd seen it twice already. As for Tong, what Porter told me, it was Gan and Nakamura all over again. Mind your own business. Okay, don't get your cable on a twist. I was just curious. Well, they're an eclectic bunch. Ing's the spiritual leader. She's the voice of the Whampoans. A lot of close friends or more followers. since she's something of a priest for the machine spirits. Okay. Yip's the muscle and has an encyclopedic knowledge of cyber and bioware. Not too friendly, but you know how it is. You get a lot of cyber people start wondering if it's their arms off. He's got moves straight out of Blood Carnival 3, The Reckoning. Terrible movie, but great fight choreography. What about the guy with tattoos? That's Tang. I think he's even older than Ying on some level. I don't know much about him, but I think he's got some kind of fetish for automation. Found him cooing over some triads of automated delivery drones in a warehouse once. Oh, that's gross. He works with drones, has a shop called the Blessed Auto Fab. He was raving about the efficiency of the movement patterns or something. Oh my gosh. You already know about Tong, Ren Sims, BTL skill chips. Gan used to be a city planner before he had a nervous breakdown. Nakamura came from Fukuoka and was interested in entertainment. Trids mostly spent a lot of time analyzing subliminals in ads. Then there was Magpie. She was the chief decker, hot as hell against IC, and built her own hardware. Salty, though, never met anyone who was quite as shrill or nasty when she was mad, and she was mad most of the time. When did she die? She didn't. Maybe a month ago she just up and disappeared. I went to her shop one day and she just wasn't open. Nobody has seen her since. Kind of a pain in my ass too. She owed me some new analyze software she'd picked up. I've never heard of Magpie either. She must be one of the newer Whampoans. If she was the Decker, she would have replaced Elder Gao. No surprise there, Gao was older than Qin. Shil Hong Di's Terracotta Warriors. When I was learning decking from him, he could barely get out of bed. Fast in the Matrix, though. How can you be new and an Elder? It's a stupid name. It doesn't actually have much to do with time spent in the community. It has something to do with it, but it's mostly about how skilled you are, how good your connections are, and how much you can help everybody. You should have called them experts or something instead. That's exactly it. She was only here about 3 years, but she knew a lot of people. So she was a shoo-in when Gao died. So why would she disappear? No idea. One day she was here, the next poof. At first I thought she was on vacation. The Kingdom of Hawaii. She should have at least told me she was leaving. It seems mighty suspicious, and no one seems to care. A little odd for her to disappear. Of course it was odd. She owed me lunch too, and she was the sort who paid her debts promptly. You might want to check out her shop. It's all locked up, but the elders have a spare key. Couldn't hurt to look around. Even though Magpie was always butting heads with the elders, they wouldn't have had any reason to not let you in. What did they argue about? Magpie and the others never saw eye to eye. She was contrary for the sake of it. Most of the rest had a grand vision for what they wanted. Magpie just wanted to deck. She was only an elder because they needed someone with her matrix skills. The last big argument was between her and Ying, Yip, and Nakamura. It was over something relatively trivial. I think Nakamura wanted to expand the pirate trade business into the matrix, and she absolutely refused. Why did she refuse? She said something about not using up valuable bandwidth for trivial entertainment stuff. Anyway, it went from there into this rant about how she wasn't going to let Tang expand his drone business any further because it would get too much Megacorp attention. They accused her of blocking them just because she could, which is probably true. Everybody needs her matrix skills for their businesses to run properly, and there are other deckers, me, or Wei, Jebby, I don't know. But she had the infrastructure. If their project didn't interest her, she wouldn't even give them the time of day. She's a real hardhead about having her time wasted, but she figures if she's not interested in something, it has no value objectively. What a psycho bitch. Could you let me into her shop? No, can do. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't have the key. You have to get it from Yip. He's taken over all the Matrix infrastructure. He's not as good, but... okay. What kind of blade was that? A knife, a sword, an axe? Huh. It sounds possible that whoever's been killing the elders is trying to muddy the waters with all the blood and gore. This is the crime of intelligent, careful killer. Be careful, the investigation might take you somewhere very unpleasant. Okay. But this guy said he could give me keys, right? What can you tell her? Okay. That she was a bitch? I never met anyone deliberately contrary as her. Contrary, I like that word. There's not much to say. No one wanted to hang out with Magpie. Even though she was the newest elder, she acted high and mighty around everyone. She'd block deals and argue against Nakamura and Ing just because she could. It was just her nature. She loved fights and gossip. Any chance to cut somebody else down, she'd take it. I guess I always figured she had some deep-seated insecurities and covered it up by attacking other people. Oh, so I thought he said he had the keys to everything. Obviously he doesn't. Maybe they have to tell him to give me the key first. I was going to talk to him, but I see these people want to talk also. This woman sports brilliantly hued hair that shifts colors with every passing moment. She is powerfully built, natural athlete, or someone who works out a great deal. Notably, a large shotgun rests on an arcade cabinet next to her. She affords you a short glance as you approach. When she speaks, you notice a peculiarly lyrical accent to her voice. Something I can help you with there, friend? You're throwing me off my game and I'm trying to beat my best score. Tank Warrior Europa. Managed to find this one near by accident, but I heard the music and thought, hold there, Rainbow, you know that tune. Oh, her name is Rainbow. Okay, cool. After a few moments, Rainbow's game is suddenly over, her tank obliterated by a barrage of air-to-ground missiles. She hisses her breath in through clenched teeth. Piss on your maw. Alright, robbery that was. Right then. You don't seem like them Whampoans. You're all a mite touched. Yeah, maybe you are too. Oh, they're all a mite touched. Maybe you are too, but you don't advertise it like they do. What's your story? I'm looking into the murders. Oh, that's some nasty work. Make sure you loaded for something big and ugly. I can't place the accent. Born and raised in Dublin, down the banks of Liffey, spent most of my early life there working security on sacred spaces. Okay. The green movement was big in those days. It was a bit like being a park ranger. Sure didn't it beat some dead-end desk jobs. Spent a lot of time around County Dublin and Wicklow. I always loved animals and found out that being a ranger put me in close with them. It was a good time, yeah. Making sure the budding new species, like the bogies and the centaurs, didn't upset the ecology. Oh, that's cool. Also kept the nastier bits. Like the each usage from running amok across the populated areas. Each wisage. This is the word for water, which is how whiskey got its name. It's a cannibal horse. Basically, you've never heard of an each wisage, be glad it drags you into the bogs to kill you. Sometimes people call them kelpies on account of the water plants they pop out of. Anyway, problem was I was starting to develop this wee knack. Just a small thing. I keep magic from working when I'm around. Spells don't go, spirits fall apart, and the paracritters get real feisty. To make things worse, this was around the time Liam O'Connor threw his coup and formed the Tiernan Oak. With all of his fancy document elves and ancient magic, 'twas a bit scandalous to have a woman guarding ancient sites that wasn't just mundane, but also killed magic around her, so I got fired. And don't look a day over 25, do I? I'm Irish, not one of them knockins. Pack of punters, a lot of them always going on about their ancestral lands and the glory of the past and all that bullshit. I saw them kick dozens of old Irish families off their land just because their ears weren't pointy enough, or they didn't meet some stupid arbitrary criteria of old nobility. It was just that kind of thing that brought back the IRA. Oh boy. The skivers in the new tier didn't pay for the land they took, they just had a pack of bullies with guns. I've always been sympathetic to the little guy in the fight, and they offered to pay for my help. So she was part of the IRA. So what, she's some kind of, like, anti-mage with cyber? That doesn't... I'm a bit of a big game hunter. I get into strange places, look for some paracritter, and put a bullet in it. Only the nasty ones, though. No point in hunting a talus catter, such as only things like gargoyles, barghists, and whatnot. All the work I did with them in my youth does a good job of keeping me alive. I was out in Jakarta last year hunting one of them Indonesian vampires. Call them penagallons. Their heads and guts come out of their body cavity, and they fly around like giant messy piles of pasta. Took me a solid 2 months to track her down, but it did. Once the job was done, I asked myself, okay, Rainbow, where's the next best place in East Asia to find some action? So Hong Kong it was. And all the key what's it's here means a bigger concentration of odd critters. Been spending a lot of time in the storm drains these days. I heard rumors of a rat king down there where a mess of double rats get all tied together in some kind of big awful rat beast. Haven't tracked it down yet, but I figure it's only a matter of time. Wow, it's definitely a cool backstory. This our way. Winky Quack. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Quack Atelier, home of the finest clothing in Whampoan Garden. I am the owner, Master Tailor Winky Quack. How may I serve you today? Doesn't matter because I don't have any money. And she doesn't have a Decker outfit anyway. When people don't, there's a mistaken impression that we Whampoans are only interested in technology and the Matrix. But even technologists need clothing, don't they? And many of us are in lines of where the added protection is required. I'm a material scientist as well as a keen follower of fashion trends. Fiber related, primarily amaret fibers, graphene composites, and dialatants. It affords me a certain unique perspective when designing clothing that is not only beautiful but defensive as well. I specialize in high fashion body armor, similar to the kind crafted by SecureTech or Vashon Island, but with a much more personal touch. Cool. Make sure I save it. I feel like I haven't saved it in a while. Game saved. Okay. Why didn't you tell me about Elder? Why would we? Our departure from the Whampoans isn't related to your investigation. It happened before the killings began. I'm certain she's off sulking somewhere. No doubt she'll come waltzing back next month, all full of attitude that life dared to go on without asking her permission. If she does, we'll welcome her back. Despite our problems with her behavior, her skills make her extremely valuable. I've taken over the maintenance. Da-da-da-da-da. Dang, I don't have decking 4 yet. But at least I have enough charisma. So that was a pretty freaking high decking requirement. Ooh, I can talk to this guy. So I better upgrade my decking. The owner of the shop barely looks from his medieval greeting. His tone is one of immense boredom. Welcome to the Min Vong Matrix Materials, aka MVMM. Degrade, sniffer, drone repair. No, thank you. These guys have okay stuff, but it's not great. Nobody in here to talk to. And I'm not criticizing the game, I'm criticizing this town for acting all badass and not really having a whole heck of a lot. The Jack Point? Is that the name of her spot? I guess. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
I don't remember them calling it that. Okay. Actually, how much karma do I have right now? Whoops. I don't have any karma, it looks like. Oh well, decking. Decking. This bin is full of assorted chips and peripherals and add-on modules for our cyber decks. They don't seem to be arranged in any coherent fashion and are spread across the surface. You sift through the display case searching for anything that might prove interesting. Isabel peers past you in the bin as you search. That's interesting. There's a lot of storage memory, IO handlers, and active memory in this bin. I'm not seeing any MPCP hardware, response increase chips, or anything related to the hot decking she was supposed to be doing. In fact, you couldn't even build a full deck with this. Without the MPCP, it'll be a glorified comm link. If I had to guess, I'd say someone cleaned her out. The MPCP response increase biofeedback filters. They're easy to move, expensive, and highly illegal. All the rest of this crap is good, but it's nothing you couldn't get at a normal shop. You'd have to know what you're looking for, though. Only a good decker would know what they are seeing. I guess so, but if she did that, why would she leave the completed cyber decks? I think this was theft. So it looks like people have been stealing stuff because all the SimSense stuff got stolen and her, like the MPCP, which you can't even have a cyber deck without that. The front of the server case hangs open, the inner machinery quiet and without power. A clipboard is stuck to the side by a piece of duct tape, its papers filled with the long list of programs and their prices. A quick glance over the program sheets reveals names like Bugs, and Black Hammer. Undoubtedly, this was Magpie's attack program storage machine. Someone's removed the drives. The main drives were disconnected properly, but it looks like she modded the server to have a backup drive with its own battery-based power supply. If it was Magpie, she would have taken that too. This is a Fuji XP1000. It looks like the battery power ran out a while ago. The XP1000s are consistent write drives. They're dirt cheap and have tons of capacity, but if they run out of power, they lose their data. Oh, gosh darn it. Let's search the bathroom. You search the bathroom, but there's not much here. Ew, minor flakes of a dry red substance near the drain. Ew, what the? Maybe Magpie didn't take a trip after all. With that amount of blood, I'm guessing someone killed her quietly and drained her blood in the bath and make it cleaner to relocate. I'm thinking there's a lot more going on with these murders than we're initially told. First, they don't even mention Magpie, and it looks like she's been killed. Something's not right here. Let's not mention this to the elders. If they're hiding anything, they might start cleaning up their tracks better. Okay. Hopefully I have enough decking to do whatever I need to do with this. Magpie's desk is the kind of messy that most people only associate with rats' nests, hoarders, and deckers. The surface of the deck is littered with cigarette butts, half-finished cans of soy calf, and scraps of electronics. A towering pile of empty instant noodle bowls sits next to it. Their sides are blazoned with honest Wang's instant old-time ramen, and depict a line of top-hat-wearing caterpillars dancing with canes. I didn't think anyone would meat like those. This one is cheese curry broccoli. Oh my gosh. Gee, who could pass up the delicious taste of cheese curry and freeze-dried vegetables? I know, right? People out there have no idea what they're missing. You gingerly root around the desk, doing your best to avoid the more disgusting piles and spills. The desk drawers are stuffed to overflowing with receipts, cigarettes, optical chips, and cables. Most of the contents are boring, useless, and disgusting. While searching one of the bottom drawers, however, a low-quality tin lockbox catches your eye. Someone has pried the latch off, leaving a ragged hole where the lock's supposed to be. The interior of the box has several sleeves for storing keycards, all of which are empty. A small note is taped to the interior of the box. Spare stockroom keys. The door is in the rear of Mrs. Yang's restaurant. Do not lose these. Use only if I'm not available to open the stockroom. A stockroom. So someone broke in to the lockbox to get the keys for the stockroom. I'm thinking you're right. Whoever tore the latch off the box was in a hurry. Any elders could have cracked the maglock without much trouble. And most regular Whampoans could too. This seems like someone who's tossing the place and wanted to get in out as fast as possible. If someone was after Magpie's gear, her stockroom would be a gold mine. So now we have to get to the stockroom. Okay, I checked everything here. This is fun. Save it again. These missions are a lot bigger. I mean, I can really tell this increased size was the way to go. Okay, whoops, that was the wrong person. I meant to go this way. Useless. You're all useless. All y'all. What about this guy? Or this guy? Breaker away. An imposing troll stands in front of a stall overflowing with weapons of all sorts. Oh there, you look like a man who understands the value of self-defense. Oh yeah. I'm interested in information. Tell me what you want. Aside from Tong, who sells BTLs? The Red Spear Gang. They run up in here sometimes, but they don't cause any trouble. Check out the parking garage. They usually hole up in there. Step light, though, if they don't know you and you cop an attitude. Ugh. The funny thing, I heard there was a shootout with some Hong Kong police in the garage a month ago. I was only in Beijing at the time. I didn't see it directly, but everyone was talking about it. Why is that funny? Because we don't let the HKPF in here. Most times we shoot at them if they try. Every time they come in here, it's bad for us. Because they're always looking for a scapegoat. Why would the elders let them in? Nobody knows. Never met her. She ran with the Deckers mostly since she dealt in chips and software. I heard she was starting to work with. I think the phrase overheard was that she shrieked like a harpy with a fresh corpse. I don't know. You should ask Zippy, though. He's a sharp one. Da-ba-da-ba-da. See you later. Well, that's cool. There we go. The man in front of the stall is still rooting through a box of music chips with the swift fingers of someone who knows what they're looking for. Behind him, a music player pumps out a constant stream of distorted atonal music. The stall's proprietor is nowhere to be seen. Can you believe this? They've got 4 bootlegs of Echelon 60, the unreleased Enoch Guy and Keys double chip show from Brazzaville, but absolutely 0 chips from the Shotgun Bloom. The stall stuff is purely second rate. Hey man, don't get down on Echelon 60. I saw them when they played that unlicensed show at the old Choco Tart factory in Sun Wan. The show was amazing, even if the police had to break it up midway through the second set. The show might have been great, but come on. Echelon 60's old news. They're always being mainstreamed. I saw a Trid ad for the new Mitsubishi Ostro scooter, and they were using Main Volt Under the Bus as background music. Makes me sad, I tell you. Moi Jembi at your service, Decker. Technologist, music fan. You're not from around here. What brings you out here? I'm figuring out who's killing the elders. Oh, that's nasty business. I heard Tongue died tonight. Don't know who or what they pissed off. Magpie's shop is missing a lot of gear. Do you know who might be fencing it? In Whampoan Garden? No way. Most people are too shit scared of Magpie to pull that off, and I definitely recognize anything of hers. She watermarked every program and engraved every chip. Wanted people to know where the good stuff came from. There's not a lot of places to hide that kind of gear. We're all packed pretty tight. And this place gossips like a Mohawk parlor at tea time. If I were you, I'd ask any other outsider types you can find if they'd heard something. Nobody local would risk bringing Magpie's ire down on them or the rest of the Whampoans. We might cheat other people, but we do not steal from each other. Anybody who gets caught doing that would get kicked out or worse. What are your areas of expertise? I am a Decker. I used to be a company man, pushing code on the servers, smearing the little cyber pukes that would try to get into our secure systems. I made a pretty good living. I had my own place on the 48th floor in a corporate skyscraper. It was the kind of thing the Sims teach you everyone reaches for, the dream life. Sounds like hell on earth to me. Well, it wasn't so bad, but in the long run, I think you're right. I'm not as comfortable here on the edge, but I'm a lot happier. I found out the company wasn't what I thought it was. Sure, they paid me well and kept me in creature comforts, but I accidentally looked over some misfiled reports while cleaning out a company data store. Turns out one of the company security riggers had gotten drunk and blabbed about some project being over budget and behind schedule. That's not good. It'd be a fireable offense. Well, I guess upper management was worried that the info would hurt their stock ratings by a fraction of a point or two, so they fired the guy with a 308. Oh my gosh. That's how they handle things, so. You get a wake-up call, it'll open your eyes. It may have only been fractions of a point, but that was still tens of millions of nuyen. I guess that went beyond a firing offense directly into murder territory. What's worse, since I now know about the project and the murder, I could be the next one. I knew I wasn't worth the expense to hunt down as long as I kept my head down, so I came out here looking for like-minded Deckers. I guess I ended up staying because I could get a semblance of community out here, and I couldn't get that many other places. Collection of freaks, geeks, Sorry, but your guys' stores aren't that advanced. Most people come from all over the world to buy and sell stuff. Dup, 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 dup. The Red Dragon made a play 4 years ago, but we chased him out. Scooted off back to Whampoan, and they've never been back. It's all about playing the angles. Yeah, it pissed him off. But then we sold goods to the Yellow Lotus at a discount and exchanged the Yellow Lotus, kept them off our backs. You don't have to beat up the big guy to win, you just have to make him step back so the other guys see he's off balance. Stand-up fights are for the megas, we're about survival. The last fight she was with Tango for something, I guess. She ended up throwing some of his micro drones into a deep fryer. Oh my gosh. Huh. Okay. I want to make sure that I don't accidentally miss some of these optional quests. I want to go check out the parking garage. This dumpy looking man is busily hawking a variety of grilled spherical treats of various sizes. Some are sold individually, and some are skewered on sticks, and some are packaged up in sets of 4 or 6. A sign on the front of the card reads, "Kit is 1 yen yatai." A cacophony of small trade screens are attached to the cart, each displaying a different trade show. Interesting you in some dango, takoyaki, or maybe some nice nikumen. That's a pork bun with a Japanese twist. Any kind of tasty Japanese treat you can imagine I've got. Maybe some curry fish balls. Okay. Your wish is my command. Keita deftly pulls one of the dango sticks out of the cart and drops it onto the grill. A small robotic arm slides out from the cart and begins turning the stick until the balls of rice flour are a toasted brown color. Lifting them from the grill, Keita dips the entire stick into a tub of sticky brown sauce. Ooh. The snack has both a sweet and salty flavor reminiscent of sesame seeds and soy. The balls inside are pleasantly warm and surprisingly chewy. A bit like eating raw dough, but without the attendant chalky taste. Kyoto leans back, studying you intently. The true projections from his cart cause his face to be lit in a constantly shifting array of rainbow hues. So what brings you to Whampoa Garden, my friend? Something, or somehow I doubt it's the street food. Looking into the killing of the elders. I've been hearing a lot about that. I haven't looked too closely, though. It's none of my business. What can you tell me about the people here? Tech heads, deckers, riggers, trade pirates, and everything in between. If I had to define this place, I'd say it's Asia's mecca for people like that. As for elders, I can give you the basics. I'm a small fry, for we're not on social terms. Ing is some kind of crazy tech witch. She summons up spirits and casts spells, and works as a spiritual center of the tribe. She's a lot craftier than she seems to. She has this mother to everyone act going on, but I've watched her manipulate people into doing all kinds of stuff they wouldn't normally do. Then they thought it was their idea the whole time. She's just really good with people. Yip's a killer. Addicted to cybernetic implants. He always has to have the newest and freshest gear. But he's never seen him fight. I get the impression he's a coward. He'd rather let one of his buddies handle a problem than do it himself. All I know about Tang is that he loves drones and does a little decking. Frankly, I find him kind of boring. All he talks about is neural networks, dark knowledge, and an evolution of machine learning. Any thoughts on the murders? Yeah, ignore them. I saw the crowd down at Tonks Sensory Carnival earlier tonight, but I didn't know the guy very well. I'm a Trid fan. He liked The Sims, not a whole lot of crossover. You like them? I love Trid operas. Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Indonesian, it doesn't matter. This way I can watch all of them. Awesome. Pirated Trid's my other business I rip. The streams in the Matrix. Tap right into the corporate feeds and resell them on chips out here. Well, that's nice of him. Wish I could pay the bills, but my food card's a lot better at that. I don't know why, but most other people seem to like Sims over Trids. Well, yeah. They don't know what they're missing, though. One episode of 1,000 Grains of Autumn, and they'd be hooked for life. I'm just at the part where Orin has confessed her love to Takayama, but he's got to get his mech suit out to the front lines on Mars, so he can't be with her. Oh, you have no idea. 312 episodes chronicling a noble mech pilot and the tumultuous love affair he has with a space station governor's daughter. The pathos, the majesty, the battle of Lagrange one spans 5 episodes. It sounds like Gundam. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay. Is that the... Oh boy, I'm gonna save it all. I don't know. Save it 'cause I'm freaking out. This way. I always like how they're really specific with what's an op. Ugh. I wonder if I'm supposed to like talk to somebody to make sure I'm okay with them first. Otherwise, I have a feeling I'm just gonna waste them all. Oh my goodness. Wait, no, stop. Okay, these obviously don't look like good guys at all. That's far enough, guy. I'm not your guy, friend. The woman hefts her weapon, tossing a nod towards the gangers behind her. This lot's our turf. If you're looking for a fix, you're welcome to trade. If you're not here for business, get out. You try and wander around on our turf, and we're going to have to air you out. So what do you say? You looking for a little pick-me-up, a little nitro? Maybe some chips? Can I look around the garage? What are you, deaf? Wow, yeah, there's tons of different choices. I love that. Show me what you have. Okay. No thanks. What do you think, everybody? Should I attack him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, there's more than 5. That's okay, we got this. This is Gobbit. How do I only have a... Nah, it's okay. Oh, son of a... Grenade sucker. Oh. Hey there. This is my hiding spot. Oh shit. Hmm. They're trying to burn Gobbet down. There we go. Is this, oh, this is Duncan. Firepower round. Wow. Oh, these are all the cool things that he gets. This is... okay, this is Isabel. I'm not going to be able to take him out unless I get a better position on him. There we go. That new flank system's awesome. Oh! Oh, he punched me! Oh, they're punching me! Oh, that's cool. That's right. They auto-use their dock wagon hoo-haws now. So I'm gonna run with him and then hopefully... how come? There we go. Nice. Time to bust out that grenade launcher. Is they what? Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, you little weasel. Oh. Oh. Chance. No, are you serious? There we go. Gobbet. She doesn't have any... yeah, she does. Okay, cool. Nice. Nice. Okay. Nice. get another... Try to get a better position on that guy. There we go. Nice. No. Oh wait, no, that's okay. That's the elemental. Dang. Huh. Duncan. There we go. Nice. Oh, that is cool. It's the shaman stuff I spec'd him into. So I can use this beastie. To open a can of whoop-ace. And draw fire. Nice. So this... There we go. Nice, that guy shouldn't have any AP to move anyway. Okay. Wonder what that red is that's not hurting me at all.
Oh my god, that's the cutest thing ever!
The cat's like, nah.
I kind of squeezed him when I said that.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Hello, he's like being right at my feet because he's right at the grill.
Oh, yeah.
Computer.
Gotcha. Small PD sits on the table. The glow of the screen illuminating does not appear to be locked. Nigeria OS through the please select file. Wilson, we've got the go-ahead from the Whampoan elders to move into the parking garage. Whatever fight happened there has really spooked the locals. They're a little superstitious about moving back into a place that could be filled with angry ghosts. It's a bunch of bull, but whatever. The bottom line is, we have a new place to set up shop. Their only request are that we pay a percentage of our sales back to them and that we keep anyone nosy out of our turf. Where the heck is King? I don't know where King is. Last I heard from him, he was checking out the storm drains, looking for a place to use as a drop, so we wouldn't have to stash all the chips here in the garage. When he came back up, he said something about seeing a monster. He described it as man-sized, but covered in gore and speaking some kind of monster language. He was so spooked he dropped his key. So I told him to take a few days off. If you're still looking for him, check his flat in San Kong. He's probably drunk off his ass. Unfortunately, that means we don't have any more keys to the storm drains. I know that Porter Lamb has some. Maybe you could ask him. There's also some elf woman named Rainbow Smite that's been down there hunting paracritters. Maybe we could buy her key from her. Elder murders. I don't know if any of you have heard about the way the elders have been getting picked off one by one, but stay out of it. They've been nice enough to let us set up shop here, but their business isn't our business. If anyone asks you to look into it, tell them to talk to me. I don't want to get mixed up in whatever politics or ripping those crazy tech junkies apart. I wonder if I wasn't supposed to kill these people, but they were bad guys. Wish I knew what the blinking thing was. I wonder if that was maybe something that wasn't working. Bloodstains. Dried blood and bullet holes pockmarked the floor, pillars and walls of the parking garage. Judging by the amount of blood staining on the floor, multiple people died here. To call the scene bloody would be to do it a disservice. This was a massacre of tremendous proportions. Look at this. These scratches look like they're from a long-bladed weapon like a sword or machete. That matches the wound on Tong's neck. Our killer must have fought the HKPF in here and cut them apart. With the number of bullet holes in the walls and cars parked around here, they must have been spraying wildly. I'll tell you what, I don't want to have to fight this maniac at close range. I agree. Which is why I'm going to save it. Again. Okay. So, I guess they let other people? Or maybe they didn't let other people in there. Maybe there's other ways of getting in or something. Dried blood and clots clog the drain as you look closer. Something catches your eye, an off-red color that doesn't match the hues of the gore. Bending closer, it appears to be a small nugget. The nugget, upon closer inspection, is a chunk of some kind of synthetic ferroplastic. It's got ragged edges as if it was broken off a larger object. A number of small markings are partially obscured by scratches. Brushing away some of the dust, you peer at the fragmentary bit of ferroplastic. The scratches and markings on the nugget look like Chinese, but despite how closely you look, you can't decipher their meaning. After a moment, you realize the reason. Not only are the markings fragmentary, the language is actually Japanese. The characters are close enough to be familiar, but too different for you to read. Maybe an export in armor or foreign languages could help. You know, I'm not sure who in Whampoa Garden speaks Japanese, but Wing Ki Kwak has a shop down in the Whampoa itself, by where we met the elders. If anyone around here would know about the armor, it would be her. Okay. Sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think so. That's weird. Okay. Alright. Let's check the quest log. Get a key for the storm drains. No. Find a key. Optional. Analyze the armor piece. I thought it was optional to get to... Nah, I don't know. This or what? No. Can you tell me anything about this piece of armor?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to smack you in the face.
Oh, in that case, I actually can help you. Let me see. It says Renraku Kabakushi Geisha. It's the Japanese name for Renraku Applied Sciences, the materials research brand of Renraku Asia. Where did you find this? I think it came from the person killing the elders. I don't know much about the Magus, but... No, thank you. I don't know much about the Magus, but this seems like some pretty rare armor to find on a serial killer. I don't think off-the-shelf armor has this research mark, and it seems pretty high quality. You'd have to be well connected to get something like this. Cool, so I didn't have to go to that. Hey, who's this guy? Hello. This man has a tired, world-weary demeanor about him. His eyes track your movements with a penetrating, critical precision. Something about him, the lines about his eyes perhaps make you suspect he's seen terrible things. Demergo, let me guess, you're the freelancers the elders are paying to look into the murders around here. That's right. Who are you? Call me Demergo. I'm not one of the Whampoans, but I've been here long enough that they don't think twice about me being here. So what have you found? You're awfully curious for a random guy. Professional curiosity. I used to be with the NYPD as part of the Thaumaturgical Research Division. Part of the CSI branch, except I did the magical investigation while the other guys pulled prints and checked blood samples. Want to hear about shit like this happening? I keep my ear to the ground. Old habits. Seems like you're more cut out for the job than I am. Eldering asked me to look into the killings after the first murder. She couldn't afford my fee, though, so I took a pass. It's not just the money, either. You see this stuff, you pay a price, it eats away at you. You know what it's like to feel all that sickness and anger every day, to be asked to pick up a murder weapon and relive somebody's death. Feel it going into your neck, pleading in the voice of a dead woman for her killer to spare you these days. I'd rather interrogate the living. Ugh. It's more than awful, it's a nightmare. One I couldn't wake up from for a long time. Sometimes you have to cut and run, start fresh. At least now I can pick my own jobs. I can read objects, it's called psychometry. A little trick I managed to pick up. Don't really know how. I hold on to something, I can tell you what happened to it, who owned it, how it killed someone, if someone loved it. Useful, but it'll tax your heart. And before you ask, no, I'm not going to read anything you find. I already told Ing I don't want any part of this. You want advice, I'll give you that. But I'm not getting drawn any further than that. So aside from that, is there anything I can help you with? It's definitely unusual. There's a lot of people in Hong Kong who can fight with the blade, but not many of them could take on 4 police officers and win. That's a losing fight for even the best gangers out there. Whoever you're looking for, they're no common killer. Sounds like your killer is the same one the police fought, that's certain. There's nobody around here that could go toe-to-toe with 4HKPF. Heavies at close range and come out on top, at least not any with a penchant for blades. You'd find whoever's good with a sword and has a grudge against the elders, and you got yourself a killer. That's a precision attack. Most knife fights end up with a lot of shallow cuts and blood on both people. If Tong was killed by a single blow, he definitely wouldn't have seen it coming, and you can bet your last Nuyen that whoever killed him is highly skilled with the blade. That says to me the attacker is either a professional hitman or a practiced serial killer. It could be both. Assassins do not tend to be the most empathetic people. Was the attack a thrust or a cut? It was a slash. If one was the thrust, your attacker was using a knife. Anything over 10 inches would be pretty hard to thrust at that kind of angle. The neck's too high for a longer blade. If it's a slash, you're looking at a sword or cleaver. Both of those are popular with the triads. They make an awful mess and send a message that they are not to be trifled with. Sounds like your killer's the same one. Yep. He's caught by surprise. That's not what I would have expected with the amount of mess. The victims should have left behind a hell of a lot of fear and pain. Are you sure? Very sure. Then it sounds like it wasn't a crime of passion. A planned attack would have left that kind of resonance in my experience. It's possible the gore shows to throw off anyone looking for the actual reason. If I wanted to kill someone and get away with it, I'd try and point the finger at some kind of monster. Basic investigation 101, it's usually the simplest explanation, but don't discount the other possibilities. Ask yourself this: if the mutilation happened after Tong's death, why would the killer perform that kind of ritual? Serial killers who engage in that kind of ritual don't feel perfunctory about it. In my experience, it tends to feel more like they're taking communion, religious or sexual most of the time. If it didn't feel that way, I don't think the killer is actually pathological. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. I never thought about it like that. Even though I've been here almost 2 years, I'm an outsider. If they don't really accept anyone who's not much of a tech nut as they are, I'm just the crazy mage that lives down the road. Yip's got some heavy-duty cyberware and basically an enforcer of the rest of the council. He doesn't seem to set much policy. Ing is a shaman that worships machine spirits. It's all a bunch of hokum if you ask me. Magic's magic. Whatever you want to call the source is fine by me. But don't ask me to believe in the great spirit of electronics. As for funnels, they tend to be an okay bunch, a bit strange, but that's French culture for you. They scrounge tech, rebuild it, sell it off. Some of them even have their own auto-fab shops. Their stuff's pretty high quality too. People from all over Asia come to shop here. If they need something rare or unusual, tight-knit little community, all things considered. They started a couple weeks ago. Elder Gan was first to go. That's when Ing asked if I could look into it. He's ripped apart. Whatever did it, sure didn't care about. Yeah, okay. Funny thing is, the Hong Kong police force was out here a few weeks before that, maybe a month ago tops. I know that doesn't seem like much, but the Whampoans usually don't let the police in here. That by itself's odd enough, but it gets stranger. And the officers were loaded for bear. Big guns and heavy armor with NBC seals, the works. They went into the parking garage near here, and there was a bit of a gunfight. Never made it back out. When the backup showed up, the Whampoans chased them away. Why would they let the cops in and then chase them away? Go take a look for yourself if you won't. Watch out, a gang's taking up residence. Call themselves the Red Spirit, not too violent if you don't push them, but be careful what you say. Oops. My bad. Hey, the people are gone. Do you have a key to the storm drainage system? Sure, why do you ask? Following up a lead. And in that case, take the key. You'll have to forgive me if I don't want to go down there with you. There's an entrance up by the Jade Mountain Restaurant. Okay. Alright, I'm going to save and cut the video there. Take a little break before I start back up again. So, thanks for watching. And like, subscribe, tell your friends, and tell me if you want to see more Shadowrun. Really appreciate it. And talk to you guys later.